Figuring out what to talk about is the job of people that are better at it than I am. Like Media Matters senior fellow Eric Boehlert. The media matters, and nobody knows how much the media matters more than Media Matters, where they discuss media matters and why they matter. And today, what Media Matters is who the media was sufficiently upset about, something the Bush administration did in 2007. Bush did it! Today, Media Matters, the not-for-profit group created to give shows like this someone to make fun of, published an article in defense of Hillary Clinton titled, "I'm Rubber, You're Glue." Okay, that's not the actual title, but it's a pretty good summary. The actual title is "Nuh-uh." Okay, seriously, the actual title is Chimpy McBush Hitler. Okay, fine. It's the George W. Bush email scandal the media has conveniently forgotten. It's a terrible headline. He says conveniently because from senior fellow Eric Boehlert's considered point of view, it is convenient for the right-wing media to smear lefties in support of George Bush. Seriously. In the article, Boehlert discusses his particular panty wad for the day, which is that when an email scandal broke under the Bush administration, the media weren't as hot to trot as they are for Hillary's story. Here's what Boehlert argues. He said, quote, "The White House email story broke on a Wednesday." Remember, he's talking about 2007. Yet on that Sunday's Meet the Press, the Face the Nation, Fox News Sunday, the topic of millions of missing White House emails did not come up at all. The story actually did get covered on ABC's This Week, but anyway. By comparison, not only did every network Sunday news show this week cover the story about former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's emails, but they were drowning in commentary between Meet the Press, Face the Nation, This Week, and Fox News Sunday. Clinton's email or emails were referenced more than 100 times on the program. According to Nexus transcripts, talk about saturation coverage. I'm sure when Mr. Boehlert was done, his notes were saturated in his tears. As for his conclusion, just to repeat, in 2007, the story was about millions of missing White House emails that were sought in connection to a congressional investigation. Yet somehow, the archiving of Clinton's emails today requires exponentially more coverage and exceedingly more critical coverage, which Boehlert thinks is outrageous. Now, as you know, things get reported in the media based on how convenient they are for Republicans, right? But let's just pretend for a moment that the media isn't totally in the tank for George Bush. What might some other reasons be for a different amount of coverage? Let's take a trip back to 2007, shall we? April 2007. George Bush was in the White House. T-Pain was on every radio promising to buy you a drink. Season 2 of Battlestar Galactica had all of America believing in Cylons again. And the White House was missing several million emails. The news of the missing mail broke on a Thursday, but it was not the only news of that day. Also on Thursday, the 12th of April, Paul Wolfowitz publicly apologized for a World Bank scandal involving his girlfriend. Don Imus was fired from his CBS radio show after calling the players of Rutgers women's basketball team nappy-headed hoes. Insurgent terrorists set off a major explosion in the National Assembly, killing 8 people, including member of the Assembly Mohammed Awad. A truck bomb was detonated that same day on a bridge in Baghdad, killing at least 10 people. Al-Qaeda claimed responsibility for bombings in Algiers, Algeria that took place the day before, Wednesday the 11th, killing 23 people. Also on that day, Governor John Corzine suffered serious injuries after being hit by a car that fled the scene. Is that enough other news coverage to get in the way? All right, fine. On Wednesday, the day before the email story broke, 2 Canadian soldiers were killed in a Taliban roadside bombing in Afghanistan. The United States extended the tour of duty for all troops serving in Iraq and Afghanistan from 12 to 15 months. Want more? On Friday, the Islamic State of Iraq claimed responsibility for the assembly bombing. On Saturday, a suicide bombing killed 8 people. In Afghanistan, 300,000 Turks marched on Ankara. Gary Kasparov was arrested for protesting in Moscow. A car bomb exploded in a bus station in Iraq, killing over 50 people and injuring 70 more. 10 more people died from injuries sustained in the Thursday bridge bombing in Afghanistan. Busy week, busy week. Still, one wonders if the Sunday shows frittered away their time instead of focusing on the missing emails and fired attorneys, because as anyone who was around at the time remembers, nobody covered the fired attorneys scandal 24/7 for months.